Hello, my friends. Welcome to the third night of the Rocket and Raygun Awards. I'm your host, Victor Lucas, with our other host, Jose Sanchez.
Hi.
The brother from another mother, and now the papa of a 9-month-old daughter.
That's my
How
baby.
are you doing, my friend? How's everything going?
I'm doing great. Times are good, man. My baby just popped into I was just streaming some Halo. My baby popped into the stream for a little bit. She's like, wonder what's happening.
Is she reaching for controllers and stuff
already?
already?
Yeah, she has her own controllers.
She
like
has
from
her
old
own
TVs.
controllers.
Like, you eat this one.
Well, I can't wait to talk about these things because I know probably out of everybody that I know in the world, you play as much stuff as I do all year long. And
I try to.
You're always streaming. You're at twitch.tv/DonFubar.
Don_Fubar.
Don underscore.
That underscore is
Fubar.
important.
It is. I know. I've got that in my Twitter handle. All right, we've got a great show for you today. We are going to be talking about indie games. We're going to be talking about remasters and remakes, an incredibly important category in the video game industry, as we all know. We're going to be digging into the Xbox favorites. We're going to be hearing from people all across the video game community, mutual friends of ours that we never see in person anymore. They just send little video feeds. Although, is there anything happening in San Francisco? Are you hanging out with people in San Francisco? Looks like we... Oh, are you there? You're back. What happened there?
I have no idea.
It was you were all frozen there.
It said my internet connection is unstable.
Oh no!
Thank you, Spectrum Internet.
Oh no! Well, we can't have that.
We'll do it live until we can't anymore.
We are doing it live. We are live. I'm having an issue with connecting to the chat. I see Goku is here and Blue Mystic Ninja is here. Danger Dugan, VR Grid. You know what I'm going to do? Can I refresh the dashboard on Twitch, or does that screw everything up?
Should give it a try.
It might kill the stream. Does it? I don't know.
Let's give it a whirl.
I'm refreshing the dashboard. Oh no, it's frozen. Oh my god. Oh, there's everybody. Hello, everybody. I don't know what's happening here. I guess there might be quite a few people in here. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Yes. You know what I'm going to do? I have Wi-Fi on my computer, but I'm also hardwired in. So I'm going to turn Wi-Fi off. And if this kills everything, I apologize, but I'm turning Wi-Fi off.
Oh, that's a dangerous move.
All right, I'm doing it.
You're turning off the Wi-Fi?
I'm turning off the Wi-Fi because I want Ethernet. Uh-oh. It's just... We are the height of technology. We should do it like it's 1995 and we're trying video streaming for the first time. That would be amazing.
Max Headroom. We got Max Headroom as the guest today on Baby Rockets and
I see the Mandalorian is here and Magna Whirl and Ninty Fan 1991, Thunderpin 56. A lot of you guys sent videos and clips and things, so you may see some familiar faces tonight. We're going to get right to our first category and our first nominations, but first, a nice thank you to our sponsor. The Rocket and Raygun Awards are brought to you by the Gaming Stadium. They are Canada's leader in online esports tournament facilitation, and they've got tournaments happening every single weekend that you don't want to miss out on. You can find out all about them at tgs.gg. Yes, thank you to the Gaming Stadium. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for all your support throughout the year. Okay, Foobs, we are going to take a look at the nominees for the best indie games of 2021. We got some great games in this list. Death's Door, developed by Acid Nerve and published by Devolver Digital. F.I.S.T. Forged in Shadow Torch, developed by Thai Games and published by Bilibili. Chicory, A Colorful Tale, developed by Greg Lobanoff and published by Finji. Cyber Shadow, developed by Mechanical Head and published by Yacht Club Games. Kena, Bridge of Spirits, developed and published by Ember Lab. Okay, so if we are going just off of beauty and looks alone, the easy winner there, and I think it won the Indie Game Award at the Game Awards last week, the easy winner is Kena Bridge of Spirits. It was not only one of the best, and I think the best looking indie game of 2021, but also one of the best looking games of the year. Did you get a chance to get some hands on with that one?
Played through the whole thing.
Did you stream the whole thing?
Yep.
Yeah, it's beautiful, huh? What did you think?
Yeah.
Did you like it? Did you enjoy playing it?
I had a good time. I mean, I collecting all the hats for my little characters, and I was like,
Yeah.
we've got so many different hats. There's so many different hats. I need to keep unlocking hats for the why. There's doesn't do anything. Simply cosmetic, but I'm like, I need to go and make sure I find every hat.
Yes. Yeah, the
That's what you have to
obsessive
do.
compulsive hooks in there were
Mhm.
wonderful,
The
right?
meat
It was a
hooks were
total
real.
throwback to rare style, classic platforming action type character-based stuff like that. It looked like a Pixar movie too, those cutscenes, man.
Yeah.
Mwah, chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
Incredible. Yes. I was sure that the indie game I was going to vote for at the end of the year was one that came out earlier in the year, Cyber Shadow. Did you get a chance to jump into that game?
Another one. Played through the whole thing.
Incredible
So good.
game. Yes.
So good. I was
Very
like,
tough.
oh, this- yeah.
Very challenging. I saw the Stallion 23 from level 857 was talking about that. I don't know if that's aired or not. I have all of the videos in my head right now. But he was talking about it, and it was great.
That
I
last
freaking
fight
adore
was
that game.
real.
Which one?
That last fight in that game was for real. It's like,
Yeah.
come
Well,
on, just do it.
It's
Do it.
challenging from minute one, from pixel one.
Yeah.
It's such a classic pixel experience. I love Chicory as well. That was a really lovely game. Did you get a chance to check that one out? It's very
No.
slow paced. I think it's made by one person. I think he's Vancouver based in the BC area. It's all about coloring the world and having control of this magical paintbrush.
I think it's
very
coming.
chill.
I think it's coming to the Switch.
It'll be a perfect fit on the Switch. I played it
Yeah.
on the PC. I streamed it, and some people were not having it, but some people were appreciating how chill and cool it was. My daughter loves the game too. But I think for me in this category, and I don't know if you played this one, but the winner was pretty clear after how hooked I got on the game. Let's celebrate the winner of the best indie game of 2021 at the Rocket and Raygun. Now, tell me, did you get as hooked on this game as I was?
Death Store's on the Switch, right?
It is just now. Yes, I think it's on the Switch now, and I think it's coming to the PlayStation, or it's already on the PlayStation. It was an Xbox only console game for a little while, and it wasn't on Game Pass. Devolver published it.
Missed opportunity there.
Well, I'm sure it will be on Game Pass because it's a classic. Acid Nerve is a small little company. They did that Titans game. I forget the
Titan Souls.
Titan Souls, yeah, fantastic game there too. But this is, I think, an even more evolved experience. It's very, similar to a lot of the top-down Zelda types of games with this really cool noir aesthetic where you play this crow with these bladed weapons and these attacks that has to collect all these souls, And so it fuses a little bit of the Souls kind of methodology and storytelling and the imprint of that, but it's very much like an accessible Zelda game where you're looking around every corner of the map and trying to figure out how to access an area you can see but you can't quite get to. And the boss fights were incredible and the music was perfect. I was just floored by that game. I actually, when I was playing that game, I thought this might be in the best games of the year list, and it still might. Still might. I don't want to spoil anything.
Wow.
But it is an incredible, incredible game. One thing that I wanted to do throughout the week this week with the Rocket and Raygun Awards is I wanted to reach out to the community that we miss. I asked you, but I think we had a little frozen internet time there, a little matrix internet time.
Yeah.
Are you able to see people? You're based in the Bay Area. Are there events happening? Is anything going on? Nothing's going on. It's
Nothing.
Quiet.
I think the only events happening around here are diaper changing. A lot of nap inducing.
Are those open to the public?
I mean, it depends. Like the door's unlocked.
The door's unlocked.
If they showed up.
If you want to come and witness the
change some diapers.
The changing diaper-thon. Oh man.
Every day. It's just
it's crazy. Yeah, I'm having trouble with the chat. I don't know what's going on, you guys. I'm stuck at it's 5:11, and the last chat thing that I have here is at 5:05. I apologize.
I see everyone. I got everyone.
VR Grid. Well, you're going to have to answer some stuff because I'm not keeping up. I'll check it on my phone and see if the chat's coming in live on the phone a little bit better. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's freaking out.
It's amateur night, Vic.
I have no control over chats. Come on. That's a Twitch thing.
It is. You get your Twitch together.
I see Star-Lord in there. You're both wonderful, caring, loving, talented, creative, inspiring, motivating, incredible, and friendly. You rock.
Randy, buy me dinner
Star-Lord.
first.
You are the best. Jose wins Dawn of the Year. I love it. Magna World. I see chat. Yeah, see, it's still. I'm getting the spiral on the chat on my computer. Anyways, I am going to throw to a nice montage filled with cameos while Jose cleans up a little bit of the stuff that he spilled.
I made a mess. We're doing it live.
All right, I asked everybody, what have you been playing in 2021?
Hi, I'm John Linneman from Digital Foundry, and I'm here to talk to you about my most played game of 2021. And this year, I spent the most time driving around the world of Forza Horizon 5. And the reason is simple. I love arcade racing games almost as much as I dislike open world games, yet against the odds, the combination of the two actually manages to work for me in this game. I think it comes down to the thrill of driving. I don't enjoy holding up on an analog stick to run across an empty field, but I love tackling corners in a Sierra Cosworth RS500 or slamming down the road in a Mercedes AMG 1. The ease of entry into events and the sheer volume of them, along with the beauty of the world, kept me engaged, and it's tough to put down, which is something I haven't done since it released. Plus, it's a showpiece for the Xbox Series X with beautiful graphics and an amazing soundscape. This is why it's my most played game of 2021.
The game I played the most this year is Halo Master Chief Collection, which kind of surprises me to even say and to come to this realization here in December at the end of 2021. But pretty much every Saturday over the last year, a bunch of friends have jumped online and played Halo 2 and Halo 3 multiplayer. We've been really excited to get ready for Halo Infinite. It started out with a bunch of us being real bad at Halo, but by the end, and just we practiced and we laughed and we had fun together. It was just this dedicated day that we could just jump in and play Halo and get kind of crazy with all the different game modes, starting out with just basic Slayer, but playing all the things, all the maps. Let's just do rockets on Beaver Creek, for goodness sake, and just see what happens. So that's the one. It's not even close, actually, when I really think about it. Shout out to Halo Master Chief Collection 2021.
So this year was a really busy year for us, so we didn't get very much time to play video games, especially together. But when we did, we'd always play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on Nintendo Switch, simply because it's a really easy game to pick up and play in short bursts.
Our big goal was we wanted to unlock the parachute with the flying squirrel who's like splayed out. So that was our goal. We just kept playing and playing and playing until we unlocked that. And then our next goal after that was we wanted to 3-star all the levels on all the CCs. So it gave us something to work towards, and we just also got to play together, and yeah.
The game that I have been playing the most this year is Final Fantasy XIV. I've been a long-time Final Fantasy XIV player from A Realm Reborn all the way up until the recent release of Endwalker. Yes, it is partially my job this year. That is a big change just to write about Final Fantasy XIV, but I took that job because it's such a fantastic MMO. Square Enix has done a great job creating a storytelling and MMO experience that is second to none. It is probably one of my favorite Final Fantasies, period, and it's backed by a community that loves the game as much as the developers seem to.
Hi everyone, my name is Randy. My favorite game from 2020 was Streets of Rage 4. I enjoyed the gameplay, the combat, the story. The characters were all amazing, the special attacks were really well done, and the DLC was great. I'm happy that the studio decided to bring this series back because it's one of my all-time favorite series from childhood.
Believe it or not, the games I have been playing the most are there actually two. It's Fortnite and Apex Legends, and you might be thinking, why those games? Well, here's the truth. Games like that allow for quick drop-in multiplayer online has been so critical, where I can connect with my community, with my friends, with my family, get on voice chat. In a world where COVID still exists, being able to connect with friends in online gaming has become so critical. Not being able to go over to houses and see family and friends in the same way is really hard. So socialized online gaming like Fortnite, like Apex Legends, has been such a key thing for me in 2021. And hey, if you get a W, you get a win, you get a Royale, that's great too. But the fact that I can connect with my friends, my family, and my community, and just chat and hang out, that's really what gaming is all about, and it's so critical. And that's why Apex Legends and Fortnite are my two most played games in 2021.
So the release that kept me busiest this year is actually a series of releases by Hamster called the Arcade Archive. What they do is they port a bunch of old arcade games, one per week on Thursdays, bring it to like a modern console. So it's really awesome because it makes these really great classic games accessible to a wider audience of people. It kind of helps preserve them too, because like some of these games are like, 30, 40 years old at this point. It's really nice that there's a company out there doing that, kind of like looking after these types of things.
I've played a lot of Fortnite. I've played a lot of Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I guess the game that I have been the most addicted to in 2021 is Forza Horizon 5. I have never been this deep into a racing game. I have driven on every road. I have found every barn. I have smashed every billboard. It is by far the best and most addictive racing game I have ever played.
It's the end of the year and that can only mean one thing: rocket and ray guns. That's right. For me, 2021 has been a year of gamer reflection given all of the anniversaries celebrated, and what bigger to me anyway is the original Xbox back in 2001. I've been super entrenched in Halo MCC, or the Master Chief Collection, and recently the released Infinite multiplayer has been really taking up a lot of my time. And at the time of this recording, we're in the home stretch for the release of the Halo Infinite campaign, so I am definitely looking forward to that. 2021 has been super fun, and 2022 looks even more massive. So as always, play forever.
The game that I've been playing the most this year has to be Knockout City, which was one that was very unexpected for me. Leading up into the release of Knockout City, I was not really looking forward to it at all. I thought the idea of a dodgeball video game felt very niche and very weird and very different, and that wasn't my kind of game. I was completely wrong about Knockout City. It was totally my kind of game. The fast pace of it, the arena shooter kind of feel of it, but the reflexes that kind of reflect something like a fighting game really spoke to me. I love those kinds of games. And Knockout City was a really quality one that I ended up spending, I think, more than 50 to 60 hours in. I love the game. It's a game that I recommend anybody check out. It is some of the most fun I've had this year, and it is definitely the most time I've spent playing a video game this year.
And the game that I played the most this year is actually a re-release of a game that came out last year and was one of my favorite games on the PlayStation 4 generation that is now leapt to the PS5. That's Final Fantasy VII Integrated. Is the re-release, kind of the director's cut with some new PS5 bells and whistles. I love this game so much. They absolutely nailed and kind of reimagined the idea of what a remake could be. As you can tell from all my toys, I really like this game.
I'd have to say, the game I played the most this year would actually be a game that came out last year for the PS4, but it had a special edition release this year for the PS5. That game was Ghost of Tsushima. Not only is it astoundingly beautiful, but the gameplay was so addictive and fun that it made me want to fight everything I seen on screen. Every side mission, every random encounter, as I took in all the sights on horseback. Hours upon hours of just saying, wow, I can't believe this is a game. And it was enhanced and had a whole new island added to an already stacked game. I must have put in at least 200 hours, easily the most this year. Oh yeah, and then there was Metroid.
It's been an Xbox Game Pass year, hands down. In particularly, the Yakuza franchise got added to Xbox Game Pass. So I went from 0 to 6. I went through the entire story of Kazuma Kiryu. It's compelling, it's fun, 100% worth playing if you've never experienced it. Personally, my favorite in the franchise is the criminally underplayed Yakuza 5. I got so into the franchise, I even purchased the zombie spin-off game for the PS3 off the PlayStation Network before Sony backpedaled on shutting down the PlayStation Network on PS3 and played that too. Even Yakuza Dead Souls was a fun time. So personally, 2021, year of Game Pass, definitely play the Yakuza franchise if you haven't yet.
素直に I love you 届けようきっと You
Amazing. I love all of the videos that everybody has put together for this. Great job, people from the EP community. Saw Star-Lord in there. Saw Abby Jameson in there. Just fantastic insight. Loved what 857 had to say about Ghost of Tsushima. Adnan was in there too. So good. It was great. And I saw a comment actually from I forget, but the comment was, I love the variety that we're getting in the what have you played the most this year in 2021. Everybody's responses on that has been really fascinating, right? There's so much good choice, and I didn't set any boundaries, didn't have to be from 2021, so a lot of people were picking stuff that had come out a couple of years ago. What did you play the most, Foobs?
It's tough, man. It's like, I mean, I made it my goal to just finish every game I started this year.
Yeah.
And I played through a lot of games. Like I have a list on my Twitch where it's just every game I finished this year. And it's like, I went back and finished like Mass Effect 1 and 2 and the Legendary. I didn't do 3. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I did all the Dead Space 1, 2, and 3 again. And like Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City again. And I mean, I played a lot of Deathloop. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did, but just like finding little nuances and little secret bits. And I finished it, but there was still information I missed that I could have unlocked a door somewhere. And
that's much more of a mystery game than it is a killing game or a shooter game, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to be kind of way more stealthy and smarter than killing everybody. You can do that.
Unless you don't. I mean, you just want to murder everyone and be like, well, I've cleared out every person who's in the morning time of this section.
Yeah.
I'm just going to roam around free and look for codes to,
Coco says the new Spelunky was the one that you played the most. He watched you stream all that.
I played Spelunky 2 until I got 100% of everything in the journal.
Okay.
And then there need be no more. But then Spelunky 1 and 2 came out on the Switch. I totally forgot it came out this summer.
I love that you turned into Anchorman, right?
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I played Spelunky 2 until I finished it 100%. And then there was no more. But now it's on the Switch. I got Spelunky 1 and 2 on the Switch. I'm like, well, do I
start it again?
Gotta redo it. Gotta get 100%.
I don't know if I have the patience for Spelunky. The only thing that makes me want to play the game is how much you adore them and love them.
It's just so good. I mean, I'm a sucker for the roguelike. Returnal too. Returnal came out of nowhere. I was just I remember I turned on my PlayStation 5 and I was like, what is there new that I can play? Oh, this game Returnal looks interesting. I hadn't really seen anything about it. And then I watched the video. I was like, wait, it's a roguelike third person shooter action adventure thing. What? And then it was just
my language. Yeah.
Then it was just good nights.
A lot of people talking about Returnal this year,
give me that
for sure,
feedback.
and lots of Returnal chat in the Rocket and Raygun Awards. You know what, though? It is time for us to award a winner, and this is for the best strategy game of 2021. Got to drop a little truth bomb on you guys. Didn't really play a lot of strategy games in 2021.
Clearly, there was no nominees. It was just
Well, and that's part of it, right? Yeah, I've got to assemble a list. I've actually had to have played them. You haven't watched reviews of me reviewing a bunch of strategy games this year. There may be others that are out there, but I went with the tried and true. There were two, unbelievable classics colliding with Age of Empires 4. We have Relic, the best strategy, one of the best, very close to the top, if not at the top, strategy game makers on the planet. And then Age of Empires is near and dear to my heart. I remember visiting the studio in Dallas that originated Age of Empires back in the day. Have always been into this game. And the new game doesn't really, innovate in a bunch of really exciting ways. It's not like revolutionizing the real-time strategy genre. And I think that if you look at a game like Total War, it's got a lot more stuff going on than Age of Empires 4. But it's very fun to play. It's very easy and very accessible, and it's beautiful. It's got some modern sensibility in terms of its aesthetics and its look and its approachability, but it's, you're gathering the resources and you're building up your village and you're assigning tasks to your different team member, your different population.
You're strategizing.
Correctly. Yeah, you're taking on different armies. There's a bunch of different factions in there. There's a huge campaign in the game. It is a success. It may not be, what we're hoping for out of Company of Heroes 3 next year from Relic in terms of like shaking the genre up a little bit, but it's still a terrific game. And so congratulations to Relic and congratulations to Age of Empires 4 and all the fans of that franchise, like myself. All right, it is time for us to move on to a category with actual nominees.
Oh,
and
nice.
This is a very crowded category, and there are no wrong answers here. These are all fantastic games. Let's take a look at the nominees for Best Remastered or Remade Games of 2021. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, developed by Sucker Punch Productions and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Death Stranding Director's Cut, developed by Kojima Productions and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment and 505 Games. Mass Effect Legendary Edition, developed by BioWare and published by Electronic Arts. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, developed by Nintendo and Tantalus Media and published by Nintendo. Resident Evil 4 VR for Oculus Quest 2, developed by Capcom and Armature and published by Capcom and Oculus. Oh man, that is a list of just absolutely excellent games. There wasn't a huge assortment of PlayStation 5 exclusives made for this year, but the fact that Death Stranding and Ghost of Tsushima were both remastered and brought out for the PS5 and take advantage of the PS5 architecture and the hardware and the DualSense controller, those are two tremendous gifts. And Ghost is incredible. That's a game, every time I see it, I played it, I streamed it, I didn't review it again. But every time I play it or see footage of it, it's like, I want to stop everything and just get lost in this feudal
hit up them onsens,
Yes.
We'd have a little man meat Monday on the streams every once in a while, like just chilling in the onsen, guys. Get up the man meat. We found a new onsen.
Anything you can do to have Man Meat Mondays, my friend.
Hey,
that goes way back. And things got weird on the Rocket Raygun Awards. Death Stranding, I've had a love-hate relationship with that game. Are you a fan of Death Stranding?
Nah.
Did you play
it wasn't my bag of tea.
Yeah. Did you beat it?
No.
I beat it. I played 80 hours of the game when it came out. And
a lot of commitment.
That was a lot of walking, a lot of carrying my stuff from place to place. Lots of falling and picking stuff up and getting attacked by invisible creatures and dropping things and getting angry. But I beat it and I persevered and I was in awe of the beauty, but I was really appreciative of what Kojima's team was able to do on new hardware for this and also for the PC version. The hyper widescreen viewpoint, the new aspect ratio is incredible.
You can see how far you have to walk in a much bigger scope.
But they added a whole bunch of traversal mechanisms in there to make it easier. And
I wanted them to have one of those little stupid ass like zip scooters,
Yes.
like little, just like this.
Well,
is
they have a
gonna
catapult in the game now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I wish a lot of that stuff had been in the original game. I probably would have liked it a lot more than I did. I did like it though. I finished it. I was still completely caught up in it. I think it's a work of art, but it's not a work of art for everyone like Ghost of Tsushima is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Skyward Sword HD, was that a game that you got your hands on
no, that's my least favorite Zelda game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That was a game I also finished on the Wii, and I got really far again on the Switch, but, when I reviewed it, I was like, this feels very cool. I like the story. I loved it. I gave it a 10 on the Wii.
Classic Vic.
It's a classic game. It really is a great Zelda, but you got to stick with it. And There were annoyances on the Wii with all the waggle having to do that for the entire game, which are diminished, obviously, in this new Switch port. But it didn't feel, even on the heels of the last Legend of Zelda remake for the Nintendo
Link's
Switch.
Awakening?
Yeah, Link's Awakening, where they went with a completely...
So good.
Yeah, it was so beautiful,
It was
right?
so good. I wish they would have made the original Zelda with that graphical style.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
give me
cute.
that original Legend of Zelda with that top-down 3D.
They might, man. I think
I'll take
Nintendo
it.
was trying these different things, and Skyward Sword, I think, is a good port of a great game, but it felt creakier because it wasn't like reinterpreted visually,
Yeah.
But I still really enjoyed that. And Resident Evil 4 in VR, I believe we've aired that. Yes, we aired that yesterday. Won for best VR game of 2021. It's an incredible port of an amazing, exceptional game. And all of these games so far are worthy contenders, but nothing can really stack up against Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, man. That's crazy.
It's the one trilogy I played. I played through Mass Effect 1 and 2 again. Just like it's not something you just casually sit down and do. It's like, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest like sagas of stories.
Honestly, they don't make games quite like that anymore, do they? I guess the closest thing is a Ghost of Tsushima or a Last of Us, but even those don't give you the choice and the directions and the options.
It's just the fact that it stacks on top of each other also. Like
Yeah.
the decisions you make in 1 are going to change the entirety of the way everything happens in 2.
It's
and they'd be like, oh, that character, you didn't get that character because they died in the first one. That's why they didn't show up in the second. Like, what happened? What?
Yeah, so every water cooler conversation about your playthrough in that game is going to be different from somebody else. And it's a solo player thing, except for some of the multiplayer DLC and options that they added to the games. Exceptional. Let's celebrate the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. They are the winner. Amazing games. What was your favorite out of the 3?
2.
That's kind of the sweet spot, isn't it?
It was like The Godfather 2. It was just such a great like bonus,
Great analogy.
and they did everything like just that much better than the first one. 3 was also good, but I just feel like the upgrade from 1 to 2 was like, the cover
huge.
mechanics felt better and the shooting felt better. And
well, how did they do that in one console generation?
I have no idea.
Like, how did they make these 3 masterpieces in one console generation? Like, it just feels impossible now.
Well, the fact that they, put all of it in the one console and then they remastered the entirety of it, it blows my mind. It has me a little upset about the upcoming where they're doing Dead Space, Dead Space remake. Why are they only doing one?
Just
Granted,
the one.
I know not a lot of people.
Well, and the rumor is on Metroid Prime, they're only going to remake the first game as well,
Come on, man. We're at a time, especially if it's the same damn it's EA. You guys just did the entirety of Mass Effect 3 saga.
They remastered, though. This is the thing. They're remaking Dead Space. They're starting from scratch. Although I kind of agree with you. A remaster of all of the Dead Space games, I think, would be as exciting as a remake, for sure.
It would give people the chance to play the Dead Spaces they might have missed.
What do you think about remasters and remakes? Are you happy that the industry focuses so much on this stuff?
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan. It also depends on time frame.
Yeah.
Like Ghosts and Death Stranding. Like those were games that literally came out 1.5 years, 2 years ago.
And it's funny that Kojima has a director's cut.
I mean, I looked up the credits for Death Stranding, the original.
Yeah.
And Kojima was the director.
Yeah.
So he cut that one also. So he's cut both of them.
That's some very good detective work there, young man. I
Thank
like
you.
that.
Thank you. Objection.
It is a bit weird, but the thing that I always come back to is sometimes the imagination of game makers is bigger than the technology allows. And the re-examination of some of these titles, it's way more fun playing Samus Returns on the 3DS than it is to play Return of Samus on the Game Boy.
You know what I want to see? I would love a director's cut of Fable.
Okay.
Let's get awesome. Peter Molyneux with all
right
of
back.
the imagine you're a fly on the horse.
Oh my God, that's an awesome idea.
Everything he had in his brain, I'd love to see played out in the actual game.
Yeah, the tech is there now, right?
Right. God. I remember I got so excited. I think it was Fable 2 or 3 where he was talking about, however many achievement points you have is going to change the look of your sword. And I was like, that's genius. If I have so many achievement points, my sword's going to look crazy. People would be like, how is this sword so dope? He's got like 100,000 achievement points.
And did it change anything?
No, I don't think it did.
No,
I don't think it did at all.
No. All right. Yeah. Sometimes
it's hanging out with Milo. That dream is hanging out with Milo.
The ambition, the dreams of game makers is just not. They don't have the horsepower to do that. I've seen Molyneux talk about. You have to come out with these big ideas. He's very guilty of voicing them in the public, though, which has come back to haunt him a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we are moving on to the big category of the evening, and before we do that, we're going to hear from some of our friends from around the community about their favorite Xbox game in 2021.
My Xbox Game of the Year absolutely has to be Halo Infinite, and I say that as a person who has never had a huge affinity with Halo. It was on my radar, but then when that multiplayer dropped, I started playing it. I got sucked in more than I ever believed I could be. I became obsessed with it. I think the multiplayer is so strong. Yes, the progression there could be some tweaks and balances coming to that one, but ultimately I think I've never played a multiplayer game that just feels that good. It's been an amazing game to play and get like all of my friends in together and just, play until late and have really good times playing Slayer and Oddball, and that was before the campaign even dropped. I've been playing it, and honestly, as someone who doesn't really have that many ties to Halo, I'm amazed with how much I'm enjoying it. I love the move to kind of this semi-open world, the fact that I can just go around and as the chief take on little like missions as I feel like it and get the upgrades. I also think the grappling hook is an unbelievable game changer. I don't understand why you'd be playing Halo Infinite and don't have the grappling hook like equipped at all times. It looks incredible. I applaud 343 for making the difficult decision to delay it, but ultimately I think that was the right move because the final product is fantastic. So that's why Halo Infinite is my Xbox Game of the Year.
My Xbox Game of the Year has to be Psychonauts 2. This sequel from Double Fine is an amazing adventure game that really delves into the story of Raz and his trial to become the Psychonaut he always wanted to be, while also dealing with mental issues and mental illness in a very interesting way. It winds up addressing it without necessarily making fun of it, even though there are humorous aspects to the gameplay. But even if you get past the idea that you're diving into people's minds and addressing their phobias, their delusions, their fears, and as well as their hopes, you're also dealing with a very large, very rich, expansive world with a lot of memorable characters and a lot of interesting set pieces and moments of gameplay. Hopefully it doesn't take Double Fine another couple of years to give us a full sequel to this game, but it's gotta be one of the best games of 2021.
Okay, so my Xbox Game of the Year is a no-brainer. It's my favorite game of this year, that being Halo Infinite. I absolutely adore this game. I've grown up with this franchise, so seeing Halo Infinite kind of go back true to form was really exciting for me. The multiplayer and the gunplay, incredibly satisfying. There's such a deep sandbox to play with as well. I mean, that grapple hook, you have seen so many clips online already. It is just as much fun as you think it is when you're actually playing in-game. Plus, ranked can get very competitive, which I very much enjoy. I like to play Halo at a bit of a higher level, and ranked is just my cup of tea. And then the story, my goodness, I love how simplistic it can be for somebody who isn't a hardcore fan of Halo. It's just, here's the bad guy, here's the good guy, you gotta take down the bad guy, you're playing as the good guy. But if you're a hardcore fan like myself, there's so much lore to dive into. And the performances, my goodness, the voice acting is top notch. This game has truly lived up to my high expectations, and that's why Halo Infinite is my Xbox Game of the Year.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Big Shop representing Level 857, and I'm here to tell you about Xbox and the Game of the Year. Xbox doesn't have too many exclusives. We know. But as of this recording, the campaign has not dropped yet, but Halo Infinite, Xbox Game of the Year, hands down. No question. If you've played the multiplayer, Halo's back. It's going down, guys. Halo, Xbox Game of the Year, no questions asked.
Let's go.
The best Xbox game of the year is easily Halo Infinite. Are you kidding me? Halo is back. They did it. They accomplished the impossible, if I'm being honest. You know, after a couple fine entries in one of the most iconic franchises of all time, there's been a decade plus since people have had that clamoring and excitement for the green brand and for Master Chief being the mascot character of it all. But really, at the end of the day, Halo is about playing with your friends, and that is what Infinite does so well. It brings me back to the multiplayer experiences I had back in the LAN parties of Halo 1 or the early Xbox Live days of Halo 2, or when they really brought it all together with Halo 3. It feels like we're back, but in modern times. They kind of made the familiar different in all the best ways. It is a truly special title, and the multiplayer is free, and the campaign is available on Game Pass. Everyone should check this out.
Thank you to Tim and Lucy and everybody that contributed there. You guys may have heard a little bit of a theme running in that video. A few people mentioned a certain little game, game that has, I think, taken the world's collective breath away in the last several days. Everybody's playing it. Are you playing it? Are you playing Halo Infinite?
I was literally streaming it before we started.
It's such an incredible experience, isn't it? What a game!
It's so good for all the well-deserved love and praise it's getting.
Yeah.
I just really wish it was the entirety of the experience. Like, I want my co-op campaign.
Right.
I want that experience with all my friends. Like, that's the most memorable times I have playing Halo, was getting all my boys together and like, you guys want to take on this legendary campaign?
I don't mind
like,
that.
If not, I'll just play it on normal.
I agree that I wish it was, more of that stuff was out there. But I feel like experiencing the story by yourself for the first time is a very powerful thing. And then you can go, because when you're kibitzing and talking and planning and all that stuff, you're not really sort of listening to what the narrative is telling you. And I think that's kind of better for a replay. But I don't mind this staggered kind of idea that, I mean, they've been working on this thing for what, 7 years or something like that?
Since Infinity.
Yeah. And the name is Infinite. So like, can you make an Infinite 2? Like, how do you follow this up? I
just want to know, like, is the co-op campaign, is it going to be like Crackdown style? Like, you go to one corner, I go to one, and then it's just going to be like,
I don't know.
We're going to speed complete this game. You go out on your own mission, I'm going to do mine, and we all take the four corners, we'll meet in the middle.
I don't know. I'm sure, there are rumors out there that they cut a lot of stuff in order to kind of focus and get to this point, which speaks to the idea that there's going to be a lot of DLC and extended content plans. We know that there is a lot of stuff kind of percolating in multiplayer and in the campaign over the next little while. But let's take a look at the nominees for the best Xbox game of 2021. Halo Infinite, developed by 343 Industries and published by Xbox Game Studios. Forza Horizon 5, developed by Playground Games and published by Xbox Game Studios. Psychonauts 2, developed by Double Fine and published by Xbox Game Studios. Death's Door, developed by Acid Nerve and published by Devolver Digital. Hitman 3, developed and published by IO Interactive. I haven't seen enough chat out there about Hitman 3, and that often happens when you see a game. I think it was released in January. IO Interactive got the publishing rights back to Hitman, and they developed and published that, put it out into the world. But they've been updating it with new content all the way along. They've got a whole 2022 plan for it. That game blew me away. I could not believe how compelling it was, how intelligent it was, how mature the design was. It was incredible. And of course, it's not an Xbox exclusive. I tried as best as I could to make the nominees kind of exclusive to the platforms as best I could, except for the PC, which now kind of feels like
Xbox.
Yeah, or like another extension of what's happening on the console in a lot of ways. But Hitman, you can play on everything. Absolutely adored that game. Death's Door, I can't say enough good things about. If you haven't checked out Death's Door, it's on a bunch of different platforms now. So worth your time. And then we got 3 big titles from Xbox Game Studios. It's like the engine is revving, right? Like Microsoft has been investing on these games and these companies, and like they're on fire. They had an excellent year, not only with Game Pass subscriptions, but with the games that they actually made.
And the games that came out on Game Pass as well. Like they weren't, it's like, oh, here's, the
Back 4 Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back 4 Blood, again, so good, right? You're like, wait, and you get Halo and you get some Back 4 Blood.
Yep.
What? A little bit of Forza in there?
MLB The Show 21. Marissa was flipping out about that on Monday's
It's like,
show.
on the Xbox, such a weird, why am I playing the Sony-made game on an Xbox controller? This is awkward.
It was so
this
awkward.
This is awkward.
So we have Psychonauts 2. Tour de force from Double Fine. Like, who knew they had that? I mean, we knew they had that storytelling, but who knew they had that kind of platforming chops and the action adventure kind of. I mean, did you like Psychonauts 1 as much as 2?
I remember enjoying Psychonauts 1 way back when it first came out.
Yeah.
I mean, my name is in the Hall of Brains in Psychonauts 2 for a reason. Like you can go there and you will definitely see this guy's name amongst those names in the Hall of Brains.
Awesome.
Yeah,
well, I mean, I was shocked by how wonderful it was. I expected it to be funny and clever and sharply made and tuned and designed, but I didn't expect it to be as ambitious. I mean, it felt like a Nintendo game in some ways.
It was huge.
It was a massive, massive experience with all of the clarity and the sense of humor. And, it was just awesome. Fantastic
mind control
game.
Powers.
And a lot of people, I saw JBJ Blaze was talking about that is his pick for Xbox Game of the Year. Forza, again, we normally don't put a racing game into this category, but this has become an irrefutable tour de force. Everybody is just shocked by the amount of stuff.
So good.
Yeah.
It's just so good for a driving game. Like you just jump in, you get all these fancy cars right off the bat, and you're just like, wait, okay, I can just drive around anywhere in the world. And there's like a gazillion missions to do. You're like, I just want to build up my DeLorean fast enough so I can hit this jump 1,000 feet. Yes, take a picture, take a screenshot. Look, it's flying. It's like Marty McFly's in there.
It's so beautiful. And then customize the livery and share that with everybody. I get hooked on the auctions in that fracking game, man.
Kudos to the community that is putting together the most amazing, impressive like skins.
Absolutely.
Like that, I've tried. My circle square line design is not very impressive. These guys they're glowing flames, and I don't know how they do it, but kudos to them. And it's just like, I'd love my Lamborghini to look like the Batmobile. Oh, they can make that happen.
Yeah, they'll make it happen. I always buy the Aston Martin, put JB007 on my license plate.
Classic.
But that leaves us with one game, and it's a game that we've been chatting about quite a bit over the last 3 days, and we're not done yet. But let's celebrate the winner for the best Xbox Series S or X game of 2021. Take a bow, 343. I mean, seriously, right?
I don't have this green background for nothing.
Yeah.
It's my Spartan armor.
It's your Master
closet.
Chief background. I love it. You're so method, man. I love it. I almost feel bad for them launching it on December 8th, because there's going to be a lot of, the Game Awards wrapped up all of its voting before it could be considered. And I don't know, 2022 looks to be a ferocious year for games. It looks like there's going to be a crazy amount of cool games. So I don't know which is going to be amazing, but I don't think people will be, unless all of the new extended content that's going to come out in Halo over the next little while elevates it again for the conversation at the end of the year. But
sure,
I don't know if it's getting forgotten about with other outlets and other kind of awards type things out there. But I mean, it's a monstrous force. This game, you can like it on every level. It's fun to have those moment-to-moment encounters. It's fun to explore. It's fun to play with your buds.
I just love how they kept it Halo. They didn't need to change much. They can add some new weapons, add some new flair, but keep it what Halo is. Don't change it and make it completely different and something
Totally.
people are just going to flip out about. Nope, it feels like Halo, plays like a Halo, looks like a Halo, tastes like a Halo.
Tastes like a Halo. I did the same thing to my controller when I finished that game. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was playing the game a week before it was out, and I couldn't talk about it. I couldn't even
brag.
Well, I mean, they send me stuff early to review these things, but I couldn't talk about it with anybody. I couldn't share that I had it. I couldn't say anything about it at all. And that felt so wrong because it's a moment, you know? It's one of these games where it's like, you know, the brakes screech to a halt and the whole world says, oh my God, everybody's talking about this thing. Yeah. And rightly so. I mean, multiplayer knocked us on our butt when they launched it. It's still so addictive. It's just sheer joy. And I've been cutting a lot of conversations about all these games, but Halo keeps coming up. And I can't play it because I've got to edit all these videos, and it's the hardest thing in the world to cut all of this awesome footage. And it's sitting right over there. I want to just go and play the freaking game, but I can't play it.
That's why you get yourself some multiple screens, Vic.
No,
like
you can't.
I mean, I'm doing this, but really,
I'll tell you from experience, you cannot edit video and play a video game at the same time. That does not work. It does not work. But what an amazing game. And a great way to kind of wrap up the year and also the Xbox episode of the Rocket and Raygun Awards with my buddy Jose. It's great to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, man.
Good to
Miss
see
your
you.
Face.
Miss your face too. Okay, you may be back. We're going to figure that out, but I'll be in touch. We have to thank everybody for tuning in. I apologize that I had some technical issues with my chat. I couldn't keep up with everything, but I really appreciate everybody watching. Tomorrow, Sean Hatton is going to join me, and he's going to be the co-host of the show. We're going to dig into the best PC game, best family game. We're going to hear from a whole bunch of other people, and it's going to be a very, very fun show. So please come back for that. And then on Friday, we're going to come back and talk about the game of the year, and we're going to have a lot of fun with that episode as well. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to our sponsor. I'm just going to give them a nice little shout out before we go. The Rocket and Raygun Awards are brought to you by the Gaming Stadium. They are Canada's leader in online esports tournament facilitation, and they've got tournaments happening every single weekend that you don't want to miss out on. You can find out all about them at tgs.gg. But most of all, thank you for your support. Thank you for being here and spreading the word about EP and the Rocket and Raygun Awards. We'll see you tomorrow, and until then, play forever.